Welcome to the OBR streaming network. This is a brand new edition of All Eyes on Cleveland. Glad to see you here with us, filing into the chat. My name is Brad Ward. The man next to me is post-combine Case. Casey Kinnamon. Follow him on Twitter at Casey_Kinnamon. What's going on, big Case dog?
Crazy time, man. Tomorrow's my last day working for the United States Postal Service. So I've been scrambling around a lot today, trying to get things finalized, get everything in order so that I can start my new profession on Monday.
Yeah, fired up. Let's go. Good job, Case dog. Happy for you, brother. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
man. Appreciate it.
Uh-oh. Pre-spam, Kinnamon. Woo-wee!
Yeah, April 24th, we'll find out, right?
I guess we will. You sound like you're feeling pretty good about that, huh?
Let's dip
the toe in the water real quick on the bet. Before we get into anything else. How you feeling about Jackson Dart round one?
I mean, he's not a round one talent. If someone reaches, someone reaches.
How much does that really matter in this situation?
A little. Got to stand on my evals, man. I can't go with what the group think is. And if someone reaches, look, dude, Kenny Pickett went in round one. Anything can happen.
Facts. I feel really good about my bet. I think he's going in round one no matter what.
There's a sucker born every minute.
Yeah, you're damn straight there. All right. Let's do, but there's a lot. Well, all right. Crazy day today. So let's get caught up. Bitonio is coming back to Joel Bitonio coming back. Hot take from Charlie Chuck says Shuck, which I guess is how you pronounce that. Strangely enough. Shucky is in the first. MC says Dart going 2 overall to the Browns.
I mean, come on now. I mean, I know it's silly season, but
yeah. Come on. Steelers going to take him.
That will be hilarious.
Would be great.
And worth me eating spam.
Well, I want to get to my mock because Dart is in it going to the Browns. Let's just say that.
I haven't seen it.
You know what I...
No, man. I didn't get to do any. Dude, there was zero social media ingested by me today. I didn't get to check up on anything. I got to repost stuff as it was. I was getting notifications, but I didn't get a chance to read them.
Spam season.
Yeah, I'll raw dog this.
Spam season, says Broken Arrow. It is spam season. We're getting it. We're coming up on it. But we have free agency first. So that'll tell us a lot. Joel Bitonio is coming back. What do you think? You know, Joel said he wouldn't let Miles impact his decision, but obviously he heard something or believes in something that Miles doesn't.
Well, you heard his postseason interviews, his when they were leaving, and you could tell he really wanted to play in the old scheme.
Yeah.
And when there was kind of a nod that that's what they're going to be doing, I felt like if you would have kept changing, he probably wouldn't have come back. I think he wants another crack at it, and he wants that familiarity. He wants to, you don't want to leave that kind of taste in your mouth. And Joel had a drop off at the beginning of the season. He played strong at the end of the season. He finished the season strong. So that's, he's earned his stripes. That dude's going in the Ring of Honor. He could have walked away, and he's going to be in that Ring of Honor no matter what. Still an outside chance for the Hall for him as well. So we'll see if there's a bit of resurgence. If they go back to the old scheme and he plays like the Joel of old for an entire season, maybe he'll get the accolades and we can start building towards that gold jacket again.
Yeah, agreed. Listen, good news for the Browns. Bitonio coming back, regardless of what you say about, like you said, you kind of described the season as a whole. There was moments where he struggled, but he wants to play in the old scheme, and we're going that way, it feels like. So that's huge. Joel is a dog, and he's coming back, as Broken Arrow says there. So that's good news. The Watson restructure this morning. I mean, we knew this was coming at some point. $35.7 million is freed up on the cap. They've now paid a lot of money to him.
Yes.
As this was pushed forward in a signing bonus. This is headed towards I still think this is headed towards March 2027 cut.
Yeah, that's gonna make next year super awkward, right? This year it's gonna be easy to write off because of the injury.
Yeah, this year's easy. But I also think if this year, the better this year goes, makes next year easier.
Yeah, especially if you have a dude in place.
Yeah,
because then
like, what's the point in coming back? Maybe if he really does rehab and want to play somewhere, does he want to get out of this in some way? You know what I mean? The insurance money isn't going to be very much, but we're going to find out about that here. But like initially, the more like, him not playing next year will help. We'll find out later down the road, but that's going to help in 2026. In 2026 to 27, depending on where he's at. Then we have no idea, and we have no idea what the Browns where the Browns will be. But landing a quarterback of any situation that plays good football this year and transitions into 2026 certainly lays the groundwork for Watson. Yeah,
well, it's like they couldn't have enough pressure to find a guy.
I know.
You know what I mean?
It's just
like
another reason.
Pressure. Let's get more pressure. You got to replace this guy now.
Just another reason. I was looking at this as we were coming live here today. So this is from The Athletic. The quarterback merry-go-round that we're kind of looking at. You have in the draft,
well, the first domino fell with Matt Stafford going back to the Rams, which made the sense. We said it last week, like, why don't the Rams just get this done? They're in the Super Bowl window, but that's the first domino.
First domino.
That's out of the way now.
Sam Darnold is going to be a free agent, so that's kind of the second thing that is. I mean, I guess he could still go back to Minnesota. I don't see that as being.
Yeah, JJ would have to have another setback in the next week or two while he's negotiating for them to really throw their hat back in the ring.
The word on the street is that his market is going to be quite large. Yeah. So, NFL draft, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shough, Jalen Milroe. This is from the Athletic article. Aaron Rodgers, free agency, Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold. We'll talk about more about Aaron Rodgers later. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Jimmy Garoppolo, Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, Marcus Mariota. All right. And then you've got potential trade cap cut Cousins, who will be cut when he's due his $10 million, likely, right? On the 15th, I believe. I mean, I don't know what else they can do. Are they really going to keep him for that amount? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but they're
playing a game of chicken. Look, if Penix hadn't looked impressive when he got his shot last year, then I could see the avenue to keeping Kirk around. But like, you're not trying to give those reps away. You got to see what you have in Penix. You have a young, explosive offense, and they're all about the same age. I know Penix just got there, but he's about the same age as Pitts and London and Bijan. You got to let him grow. I just don't see the benefit.
I can't see them keeping. I mean, he's going to be cut, I would think, right up against that 15th date, right? I agree with Levi. I think they will surprise us in free agency and with a trade. I think they certainly are working the trade situations. I mean, this is the time. This is the time of year. I mean, every year for 3 years, they've traded for a player, a wide receiver, 3 straight years, and they traded for Zadarius Smith the 1 year. So they love the trade market, right? So I did a trade piece this week. We can look at that too. There's not a ton of names on there. Actually, some of the names I put on there are already like I published it, had DK Metcalf and Christian Kirk on there.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk has since been traded and to the Texans. And then now, well, first it was said they were going to release him, and then they traded him.
That's the move, though, right? You really
Yeah.
can't do it until they didn't become official to the new league year, So you say it, put it out there, and then if someone doesn't want to risk them going to market, then just try to throw them a late round pick and see if they bite.
Fumble says it's the 17th is the day of
Okay.
Cousins bonus. My fault. 2 days off there. So yeah, 17th. But yeah, so this has their prediction of where every quarterback will land. They say the Giants, Aaron Rodgers, and Jackson Dart. There's actually a lot of smoke right now that the Giants are pretty far down the road in negotiations with Aaron Rodgers. Can you believe that?
Well, the Matt Stafford thing fell through.
Yeah.
Their GM, their head coach, they're in a win now like such scenario. They don't have to rely on a rookie to bail them out. I get it.
They have, and this is interesting because I didn't account for this team being in the quarterback market, but I should have. They have Sam Darnold getting signed by the Colts.
Yeah. I mean, they've been adamant that they're going to bring competition in for Anthony Richardson. I don't feel like Sam Darnold's competition. I feel like you get Sam Darnold, he's your starter. So are you giving up on Anthony Richardson?
No, I think you're giving him more time. He's so raw.
Yeah, but you're in year 3 and since high school, this kid hasn't played much football. You don't get better by not playing. I think they had to understand when you take a guy with that amount of limited snaps, you're going to take your lumps. And that might mean a whole losing season of him taking his lumps to get there. But you have to, if you're going to take a guy in the top 5, you got to give him every inch to grow and grow on the bench, I guess. We'll see.
Yeah. Jason saying, can't believe Kirk went for a 26th, 6th round pick. Should have given up 2-6 this year. Yeah, I mean, he's so repetitive.
He's a hat on a hat.
Of what we have. I mean, he's a slot guy. We need somebody that can play on the outside more. Jets, Justin Fields, and Tyrod Taylor. I don't see. I think Fields is going back to Pittsburgh.
No, that was my theory the entire time when Arthur Smith was in Atlanta. I was like, he needs to get Justin Smith. So now that he's the OC in Pittsburgh, I see that as a schematic fit for what he likes to do. I don't think he was happy when he was forced to go to Wilson last year. That wasn't an offensive coordinator decision.
Yeah, we'll get to the trade stuff, but Mayer, I put him in my article, and the next day they said they were trading him. So, and good timing on that. Mayer,
good call.
Yeah, will be on the trade block there. I think the Browns should have interest. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about some guys that were cut today as well.
Yeah, it doesn't prevent me from drafting a tight end either, because tight end is such a slow position to nurture.
Yes.
If you can get a guy who's ready to play right away, yes, please.
They've got the Raiders with Russell Wilson and Quinn Ewers. Saints, Derek Carr and Shedeur Sanders. Seahawks, Geno. Steelers, Daniel Jones and Tyler Shuck.
It'll be Daniel Jones and Jackson Dart, but that's okay.
The Browns, Kirk Cousins and Jalen Milroe. You want to tell me something that's absurd? Did you see Milroe's hand measurements?
Yeah, man. He's a grower, not a shower. You know what I mean?
How is that possible? Explain to me how it's possible.
It's not. I mean, there's an inconsistency between people. So you see it with heights too.
That's a wild inconsistency.
Dude, Taylor Gabriel grew like an inch from the Senior Bowl. You know what I mean? So there's this inconsistency in measuring. Look, man, I don't know how someone didn't prep the kid, but you can relax your hand. You can get it to where like it's about the line you can form from here to here. You know what I mean? And like your stretches, you can do massages. You can flatten your hand out on the table. Anyone can do this, and you can make your hand bigger. Can you keep it like that? Like, I don't know.
Thanks, Teddy. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, OG Philly says hand stretches. Yeah.
Relax the
broken arrows is blue pills.
There you go.
Yeah. Figured something out. I mean, because that is wild, dude. I've never heard of such thing. Yeah, Manimal. That's what Pete told me.
Kenny Pickett's hand grew from like early in the process to later.
Massage.
Didn't make it big, obviously, but
method to make hands bigger. Yeah, that doesn't work on Pickett's hands. His are just stuck where they're at. There's no stretch that you can do to fix that kind of small.
If you remember correctly, man, Baker did some stuff to elongate his spine to get measured at the combine.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, look what his combine height was. Is it 6'1.5"?
No way.
My guy's like 5'11".
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's how guys tried to get out of my handcuffs. Whoa.
Kinky.
Hey now.
Kinky.
Maybe Fumble was an officer of the law.
Yeah, that's the way I took it.
That's how I'm going to take it, and not the other way. Okay. There are a number of things here. All right, so we covered Bitonio. Watch and restructure. There's going to be more restructures coming, right? I think they'll probably do them as they need them. Don't you think?
Yeah, they don't just all do them in bulk. It'll be like a rollout that'll go all the way into camp.
Yeah. Yeah. Pat Shea. Thank you, Pat. 42 straight months. All right. Let's keep this going here. Let's do the mock. You want to do the mock? Yeah. It's a wild one. Let me tell you, the premise is wild. For those of you that have seen it.
What's the feedback been like?
I don't know. I haven't had time to look today. Usually I do.
It goes one of two ways. It goes one of two ways.
Yeah. It's a wild world, says James. You're right, brother, about that. Share screen. Mock it up. It's a double trade back case.
The people don't hate that.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. The people don't like trading back. It's not sexy. It's sensible.
I made it sexy. All right.
Well, you told me pick Jackson Dart, so I'm going to take that with a grain of salt.
These are kind of some of my thoughts post-combine. Now, I want to talk about the post-combine thoughts here next after this, right? But, like, it feels like the Titans aren't sure what they want to do yet, right? One of the significant narratives coming out of the combine is a clear-cut separation between Cam Ward is viewed and Shedeur, right?
Yeah.
This is not a new concept for us.
No.
It feels like a mainstream consensus has arrived at Ward.
They're catching up.
Yeah, they all got in one city and figured it out, right?
Yeah,
everybody's evaluations on Ward are way higher than Sanders, feels like, right?
Yeah.
The Titans could make things easy and take Ward. As they do need a quarterback, there's a possibility that another quarterback needy team trades up, which is very possible, right? Like at this point, they're kind of, they need to decide if they
I'm
want
not getting my hopes up is because Tennessee could ruin my day either way. Picking him or trading him with someone,
yeah. So. Now they could fall in love with Abdul Carter, which could open things up. I don't I don't think they know still. You know what I mean? For the Browns, it seems like a clear path to either Ward or Carter at 2 overall, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah, we said it. It's Ward, Carter, or trade back. That's
Yeah.
the 1-2 punch.
Carter probably more likely at this point. Now I kind of get to the point. Now I'm going to present a different reason why. Not different. Me and Pete discussed the other day, but it's worth looking at. While most believe Carter is the best player in the draft, the Browns would likely select him if Ward goes first overall. It's worth pointing out the dire wide receiver market this year. Draft is nowhere near what it has been. Free agent market is not good. At the same time, this is a very deep edge class, which in some ways impacts the value of Carter. The Browns do need to get better on the offense first, I'm saying. And if the quarterback they like is gone, should they consider focusing on playmakers and the offensive line and run game, just period, right? Like, just get the offense better. With a focus, knowing that you can get a value edge later. You know what I mean? In this situation. Yeah. With a focus on the offensive side of the ball, I took a different approach with a double trade back that pushes 2 first-round picks into 2026. If you're taking a quarterback not at 2, this is what I'm saying here. So if you're taking a quarterback even in the first round but later, right, you are not beholden to making that work like you are if you take a guy at 2, right? If you take a guy at 2, you're spending the next 3 years trying to make that work, right? But if you take a guy at 32, you can move off him next year and especially if you have 2 firsts.
Yeah, and there's not the pressure to start him right away is not the same thing.
Right. 3 firsts in this situation. All right, here we go. First trade back. The Jets coming up. Right?
I can't see your screen now.
You can't see it?
No. Can you guys see his screen in the chat?
I'm an idiot.
I thought it was just me.
Pick 7, pick 42, pick 92, and the first in 2026. The Browns they give up 2 and 257. So now they are at 7, right? The second trade back, the Browns go back to 24.
No one can see your screen still.
What are you talking about?
I can't see it, and the chat's saying they can't see it. Just a blank screen. That's what I'm getting to.
You can't see that either?
No, I mean I can see it get small, but nothing's on the side there.
Now it's just a blank screen.
Yeah.
I'm adding it to the let's stop and try again. How about that?
Yeah, stop and try again. Because you're laying it out beautifully, but I want the visual representation.
That's weird. Like I saw it on the screen myself.
It was like a dude trying to read a porno to
beautiful ZOG. Gray screen. Interesting. I've never run into this imagery issue before.
It was like a dude trying to read me porn. I need to see it, Brad.
I know. All right, so it's sharing now. Add. Can you see that?
No, sir.
No, nothing.
Come on, sound off in the chat. Back me up. I'm not going crazy, am I?
Is it just a blank screen or
it's the stadium with the mics? You know what I'm saying? It's the background graphic.
But nothing up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chat sounding off. I'm not that crazy yet.
Dude, what is happening?
Well, you're doing that. I'm going to answer some stuff in here.
What about that? No?
The swing and a miss. We're still.
Dude, why is this not working? All right,
Levi, I see your comment here about my shirt. Go Cox.
Oh, look at this.
Making them think of Sanders and Kennard. South Carolina is like the Penn State of the South now. Did you see all their dudes tested top notch? Every dude they sent to the combine, which was plentiful, all tested top notch, man. Rocket Sanders, Obviously, TJ Sanders, Kennard, Demetrius Knight, another one, balled out.
That sucks, man.
It does suck. What if there's an update you can run after the pod to get us back up?
I just don't understand why window. Maybe I do the window by window. I can't do that. Let me try this.
But the entire SEC has beasts like that. South Carolina's defensive line was ridiculous. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, 3 teams that didn't win shit, but their defensive lines were ridiculous. All pro players across the board. Same stadium with mics. Oh, here we go. What?
You can see it?
I'm in.
Wow. Can you guys see it, chat? Bingo. There it is. I just had to play with it for a little bit.
That's what she said.
Jinx. All right. So back. All right. First trade back. 742.92. First and 26 from the Jets. Second trade back. I'm going all the way back to 24 case.
Okay.
97-140. They give up their first in 2026. This is the Vikings.
Well, can we talk about that for real quick? The Vikings, who we know intimately for Kwesi, they only have 4 picks in this draft.
Yeah.
If someone wants to trade up to 24 and throw them a few bones on the back end, if they don't have to slide too far down, I think they'll be into it because they literally go from 24 to 97 and then they don't pick again. You know what I mean? Like there's gaps there. So I think they'd be into that.
Okay. Vikings receive 1 and 217. All right, here we go. Pick 24. My guy now. I like this guy a lot now after doing some work on him. Matthew Golden. Speed.
That's more than speed. He's complete, man. He sells.
He is a complete
and only 1 year in Texas, man, coming from Houston. Really caught on early in the year. It seemed like the narrative was Isaiah Bond was the guy there, and Golden just outshined him the entire way.
Yeah, Golden.
He has an argument for wide receiver 1.
Yeah, 4'2", 940.
Yeah.
He's 5'11", 191, but he's thick, and he he can play, man. I mean, this guy is legit. Will stretch the field. Polished, yeah, absolutely. OG, he's a polished route runner. Gets downfield. I mean, wins contested catch for his size, plays bigger than he is. But the main thing is the speed. I mean, he is all around receiver, and right away he changes the offense, I think. So I'm really into this pick. Okay. So then I'm trading up for Dart at 32 with the Eagles. Notice I use the 2 teams they do business with the most.
Yeah, smart.
Vikings and Eagles. So I'm coming up to 32 to get Dart. Picks round 3, 97, round 6, 201, round 6, 216, and a round 3 that I just got from the Vikings in 2026 to get up to 32. Didn't have to give up 33. Dart. Also, this means Casey's eating Spam. No laughs. Okay.
No, man, I'm not eating Spam. I'm not losing the bet.
Jackson Dart comes up. You know, I like him. Not everybody likes him. He's not for everybody, but I like him. So now you've got him. I'm gonna just throw Kirk Cousins out there. Whatever veteran you signed to actually start games. You've got
for whatever reason I've been getting weird Jimmy Garoppolo feelings.
No,
lately.
Can't
do
it. Can't do it. I'll take Daniel Jones or Cousins. Can't do Jimmy.
You might
Can
have
Jimmy even play anymore?
You might have to do Jimmy. He got that rehab year being around McVay. Maybe something rubbed off.
Maybe. All right. Anyways, Dart. Okay. Then Connerly at 33. So now I'm going in the trenches here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going Connerly at 33. And we're coming. I don't know why there's big space. I think there's an ad there or something. It's just not showing up. All right. Tyler Booker, 42. So I went tackle guard. I'm loading up. I agree, Philly. I take Flacco back. Give him a run at it. As long as he has somebody else to compete with, right? Booker, 6'5", 321, 20 years old. All these guys meet the age guardrails, by the way. Do you like Booker?
Yeah, I mean, if you like rugged ass offensive guards who like to deal out pain, I'm in. He's one of those guys who tested poorly, but if you watch the tape, it's like he's a mauler.
Yeah. So I go Connerly and him. So I want to make sure that our run game is better this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after I get Golden, who is a weapon, and Dart, quarterback of the future, then I'm going tackle guard and Caleb Johnson at 67.
Whew. My man.
Give him to me.
My guy.
This guy.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson, one of the best fits in this entire draft to run the wide zone. One foot in and then bam. And he's never met contact he didn't like. Boom, 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 boom. How'd you get through that? He got skinny at the right time, didn't he?
He's special.
He's special. And I just think it's like, look, man, he's 8 men in the box every time he's got the ball because their offense is putrid. He's constantly running against 8 men in the box. So used to it.
His vision, he's got like an innate feel for the wide zone kind of cut. There's the cut. I mean, he will.
And outside of
like
Connor
Chubb
Colby,
did.
there's no offensive. None of those offensive linemen are going pro except for Connor Colby. Beautiful.
Love him. All right. So look at him get.
Yeah, I understand Minnesota Black Dog, but he did this all year.
Look at him get skinny right there. That was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Every team loaded the box against him, and he made them all pay.
I mean, his ability to get through these
vision, anticipation,
vision and patience,
contact balance.
Yeah,
man. Right. He lacks like top end speed, which in this draft is insane with guys that have that. But if you're talking about a guy who's built to run in the wide zone, that's your guy.
He does have great vision.
Yes, sir.
Right, so let's move on from there. So then I'm going Harold Fannin Jr., tight end. You see the theme, right? We're just loading up the offense.
Yeah.
But maybe second best wide receiver, great running back. We've got.
I do got a question now.
What?
Is this dude 4.71 years old, or am I going blind?
That's supposed to be his 40 time.
No.
Apologies.
Because he's 20. He's 20 years old.
He's 20.
He's a young buck.
I forgot to switch that to 40 time because that's the template. You know what I mean? Oops.
Yeah, I got you.
You're good. 6'3", 241. He ran a 4.71 40. Instant game changer. Mismatches galore. Browns returning to more 12, 13 personnel.
Mm-hmm.
We're just loading up on weapons. All right, I'm going to go defense here with Jordan Phillips.
There we go.
What do you think of him?
He's a wrecker, man. He's a wrecker. He's going to fall down some people's boards. People get too caught up in the athletic testing and just start ignoring tape. That dude's a monster. This is a phenomenal defensive tackle class. And you're going to be able to get a freak like Jordan Phillips at 94.
Yep. 6'2", 312. He's 20 years old still.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to my guy. I love him. After the combine, he tested out of this world at the combine, right?
Yeah.
Love him.
His vert was insane.
Insane. Jacob Parrish, corner. Here's my value edge. Went back to Power Island, who freakishly tested as well in the broad jump, 469.40 at 258 pounds. Right? Love this guy. Stutzman.
Got a thumper.
Yep. 21 years old, 452.40. Ooh, this guy's fun. Dante Thornton Jr.
You're gonna have to crack some knowledge on me on this guy.
Oh, you don't know about him?
I've not watched his tape. No.
6'5", 205. Enjoy this for a minute. He got hurt, but 662 won 6 touchdowns. He's a big boy.
Look at that. Just pulling away from OU's DBs, huh?
I mean, he's a day 3 guy. Yeah, he's a day 3 guy, but because he fell down a lot of people's boards with the injury. I like him. And Tennessee wide receivers fall anyways.
Yeah, well, they don't run expansive route trees. Those reasons, but like if you can get a guy with traits, he's big.
6'5" frame. 6'5" frame. He can run.
You can't coach. You can coach nuance, and you don't have to put him out there right away. Let him develop. You need someone on the outside, man.
And the Brown guys that can play on the outside too.
Yes, sir.
Downfield. Stacked him. That's Alabama. They're excited. Last one.
MC will tell you, man, don't sleep on Nico, their quarterback.
A touchdown. All right. Anyways, so he is 4.340 at the combine. OG Philly corrects me. Yeah, at 6'5".
Mm-hmm.
Taking chances on traits in the 6th round. OG Philly read my mind on this one. And then I went back to my good old guy. If he's still going to be there this late, if they're not going to move him up boards, Case, I'm going to continue to take Malachi Moore as a safety because I believe that he's better than this.
He climbed in, I think, Pro Football Networks when I was doing a mock over there. They had him more in the mix in the 160s, which I think is probably closer to reality. But for whatever reason, because NFL mock, it's a conglomerate of all the boards. It takes account every major board and does like a consensus, which I like. I mean, some people were super low on him still.
So ideally here, we did to 2 trade backs, but I still think you got a lot better. And mainly you got a lot better on offense.
Yeah, you loaded up.
I mean, you got some defensive. You got some defensive players, right? You got a corner, you got a linebacker, you got a defensive tackle, you got an edge later, but you got Fannin Jr. contribute right away as we're going to 12, 13. Really, DJ had more in his top 50. Interesting. You got Caleb Johnson, you got Tyler Booker, you got Connerly, you got Dart, and most importantly, you got Golden.
I can't see the screen. The screen's missing again. Let me ask a question. So you did those trade backs. How many? Yeah, but answer this question.
Thanks, MC. I took it down.
How many picks did you have in the top 103 still, even with the trade backs?
I just took it down. Well, we had what? 24, 32, 33, 67. And there was 92 and 94. So We
6.
had 6.
And it's going into this draft, you only had 5 going in the top.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were able to trade back twice and still come away without Hall.
Well, you have
done.
2 1s next year. 3
Well
total.
done.
3 total. Yeah. Now, is that realistic? I don't know. Probably not. But I mean, maybe if
you get caught up
if
on
you're
that,
going from 2 to 24,
well, you can only do what the
should be
board
able to.
lets you do. If the board lets you do it, you got to do it.
Yeah.
I say that too. Like every year, like, is it unrealistic? Yeah. Every year I watch the Eagles pull off this shit. It's not impossible. It's just not every team can do it.
Interesting. Do you think Greg Newsome could play safety?
I don't know. Free. He ain't playing strong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what they need. They need a free.
But I like Parrish. I like Parrish a great deal. Parrish plays. People are going to see that height and be like, "Oh, he plays large. He plays large, and he's in phase all the time. He doesn't get caught out of position, and he has makeup speed. Like he's a hell of a prospect, man. I hope teams get pushed off by that height.
Me too.
Go ahead. Gets feisty, man. I like him.
Yeah, but the idea that what I wish the Browns would do is say I feel like they're the more solid side of the ball and the more youthful side of the ball is the offense. Or the defense, pardon me. The defense, right? And I feel like a player here, a player there can fix that side of the ball. The offense needs
retooled. Yeah.
Retooled.
Yeah.
And I wish they would focus on a weapon on the outside, another weapon on the outside so the wide receiver room can really, pack a punch. And this run game has to be so much better. So that's what I went for.
Yeah. Well, no, man, you walked away with Connerly, Booker, and Caleb Johnson. That run game is going to be better. It's going to be better. Now, those guys are rookie offensive linemen. It might take them a while to get up to speed.
They may not play.
Connerly's such an athletic freak. He'll be good in the wide zone scheme. He needs to work on power. He's going to have to deal with people with bull rushes, something that he has trouble anchoring. But if you're drawing up the prototype to play in a wide zone, he can do it, man. No, Booker will play. Booker, I could see even Booker being the 6th offensive tackle when you go heavy personnel. Yeah. He's a mauler, man. If you need a yard, I put Booker on the field.
With JOK probably unavailable, I'm wondering if we are not paying attention. I would tend to agree, except for I would just say that Tarver tends to get results from no matter who you throw at him. Now, do they need better? Do they need to add there? Certainly. And I think they will.
Winston Reed.
The question is where.
We didn't even talk about it. We buried the lead.
Winston Reed and Whitebeard. Whitebeard and Reed. Back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But would you rather them draft a Cody Simon, says OG Philly? Would you rather them draft a linebacker like Simon, or would you rather them go for a veteran?
There's a few linebackers in here that I'm keen on, that I like the fit. I like especially late. If you can get like Nick Martin from Oklahoma State in like round 7, I love that. Demetrius Knight's another one I'm high on, although he's old. He's Tyler Shuck old. But like he's a Mike. Kobe King, we've talked about him from Penn State. It's all about fits for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to replace the athleticism of a JOK. But I want another Mike linebacker in there. Can Diabate play consistently? That's the question. When he's good, he's great. But he has some low watermarks out there on tape. It's just inconsistent play out of Diabate. So if they can level him off, man, he's a dude. Yeah, Bush. I said it when it happened, and I'm not down on the even if JOK. The difference between JOK being out there and that's a good linebacking room without him. With him, it's great. So that might not be in the cards for you. You're not going to just replace him with some guy you're drafting or a vet that you bring in. JOK is special.
Yeah.
But he's the most replaceable
we even
position.
know what's happening with him? Are we just assuming he's out?
No, we're not. We don't know anything. I can't tell you positive or negative. I know he's still still seeking out more diagnosis and
still getting opinions.
Traveling a planet like Kung Fu. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but
if he's still looking for opinions, that's not good.
Yeah, but once again, it doesn't matter what they tell us. It's never mattered what they've told us. It's their actions. So we'll find out here in a week if they start making actions to try to bolster that up. Then they're concerned he's not coming back at least for this season, possibly ever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it worries me too, Levi. I think that's trouble there. That's such a bad break for the Browns.
For that young man, dude, he's super young.
Yeah, and him, of course.
Neck injury like that, that's scary as shit.
It's crazy. Kramer thinks he wants to avoid surgery at all costs.
Yeah, and I agree. He's very holistic. They had to basically beg him to eat meat to try to put some weight on,
Yeah. All right, so you're watching All Eyes on Cleveland. Hit like and subscribe. That's Casey Kinnamon. My name is Brad Ward. Keep it locked at the OBR. Yeah, they're all dated. Pat Shea. Stay tuned for sure. Yeah, so we are gonna transition here to a little. I want to talk about a little bit more post combine stuff. Like, what do we learn? What did we? There's a lot of narrative around, leaving the combine that Sanders is not worth this pick. But the one thing that you're in like his interviews, right? There's a lot made about his interviews that he turned off a lot of teams with his boisterous, arrogance,
nonchalant
approach. However, some teams, described him as confident and so it's like, yeah, you can depend on how you want to look at it, right? So, what do you want? I mean, what are you thinking at the Browns at this point at the top of the draft?
It's Tennessee. Tennessee's
but,
in my way.
But
Tennessee's
if they
in my
pass,
way, right?
Would you trade up to get Ward?
Would I? Because I don't know what that's the thing. I don't know their evaluation. Would I?
Right.
Yes.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd move up one spot if he's my guy. I would.
Is he your guy? Do you like him enough to move up and get him?
He's the only quarterback in this draft that ceiling entices me to that level to where I would move up the one spot, give up a couple back end picks to get yes. But there's also problems that come with that. I can't unsee his floor. I know it's there. So there's caution there. But you're desperate when you don't have a quarterback. There's one in this draft that has that kind of a ceiling, and you're that close to getting him. He's right there. I would do it.
Yeah. So you would try to get up to get him?
Yeah. I just don't know what their eval is, but if it's me and I'm that one pick away and I don't want to risk it. But here's the thing but my other problem is I am just as comfortable taking Abdul Carter. If it doesn't work out and you don't get Cam, if that's my consolation prize, that's wonderful. You still missed out on the quarterback. And I don't know what my backup plan in this draft is for the quarterback then.
Yeah, because I'm starting to lean that way, right? Like, I don't know if the Browns will do that though.
Yeah, and neither do I.
I feel like they're more content to sit back. I wish they would just go get their guy if they love him.
That
I
might be
feel
that might be the signal that they don't, though, that they're not.
it feels like they're higher on Sanders than some other teams. Am I crazy to feel that way?
Just with the way Kevin talks about what he likes in a quarterback, that leaves an avenue that kind of
Yep.
paints a picture that Shador would fit the bill.
I don't think they'd take him at 2.
Neither do I. Do I think they might trade back?
Would you trade back and take him? Like a lot of people are predicting a fall, fall.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're still 40 whatever days, 47 days away.
Yeah, free agency is so much is going to impact. It's just,
Yeah.
Post combine, there's just all these narratives out there. People have really shoved him down, Shador down with Dart, and a lot of people they're saying a lot of teams have Dart above him as QB2.
Yeah. Yeah, there's noise. There's teams that are falling in love with Shuck right now.
Yeah.
That dude will be 26 1 month into his rookie year.
I hope so. I hope if they believe in him, I hope they go get him. I don't know if I believe in him.
Yeah, I watched 6 games of his the other night. Just back to back to back. I don't know.
I'm conflicted. Like, I see moments where I'm like,
Mhm.
wow, he could be really special. And then I see moments where I'm like, God. And I think it might be a little bit of like Deshaun.
PTSD, yeah.
He plays like Deshaun.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I will say that the non-anticipatory throws where he sees it then rips it is very Deshaun-like, except Deshaun never had that arm.
Saw his face and he's a believer.
Deshaun ain't got the dog in him that Cam Ward does. I feel confident in that statement.
Okay. All right.
But like when he's like I said, I watched 6 games back to back to back. I watched every throw. When he starts to drift in the pocket, bad shit happens.
Yep.
Like he'll throw late across. He'll do, and I get it. When you believe in your arm so much that you can make anything happen, it's Brett Favre tendency. And instead, just throw that bitch out of bounds, man. You're already outside the pocket. You've drifted. And he just won't let a play die. Can you coach that out of him? I don't know, because you have to. You can't live with that. That's something you can't live with. But there are some throws that kid makes.
You think you think you think he's worth that? That's good. I'm surprised you said that. You surprised me. I didn't think you would say I would go up and get him, but you're a believer, huh?
He's the only quarterback that I believe in this draft.
Well, I get that. I
I hate to say it, but I don't have a plan B. There's guys you can settle with, but do I think that they'll ever be Pro Bowl caliber quarterbacks? I don't. I just don't.
I get that, but there's no rule saying you have to get your quarterback in this draft.
No, but you got to get it. How long? I mean, how long we want to go without having the guy? You got to go. If you have the opportunity to go get a dude you believe is going to be a dude, I don't know they believe it. But here's what I have to say: he needs the perfect situation to be the dude. Like it isn't like anyone drafts him and he's the guy. We did this in 2018, right? So Baker, Darnold, Rosen, Allen. Those are the guys that were all at the top of the board. No one was talking about Lamar at the front of the draft. It was those guys. And when you looked at him, Baker was the safest pick. That's why they drafted him. They said as much. He had the clearest path to get to his playing level. Allen would have been the dart throw for the high water mark. Proved that he was. Would that have came to fruition in Cleveland? I doubt it, not with that regime. Do we have the regime in place that can do that? Because that dude has that kind of ability. Cam Ward has the ceiling that is Josh Allen-like. Not the same skill sets, but if you're talking about ceilings, but you have to believe you have the things in place to nurture that and get that out of them. And you're going
Can
to
you?
go through some rough patches. Can this front office go through rough patches now?
I don't know. Can he do it in? Can he do it in Stefanski's system?
Yeah, that's a question. What are the, and then can?
Because I don't want to see him do it any other way.
Yeah, well, we can't. We've already proven that, man. We got to stay.
They
We got to
can't.
keep this bitch on the rails. We got to keep this bitch on the rails. Can you coach the other shit out of him? Throwing late, drifting. Can you coach? I don't know. I know mentally the kid is sharp. I know mentally the kid is a competitor.
Yeah.
I know that he's a leader of men. That is a high priority for that position. You can't be passive. He ain't passive. He'll go out there. He'll do everything he can to get better. But can he turn some of those instincts off? I don't know. He hasn't had to yet. Can Stefanski grab the bull by the horns and make him? I don't know.
I mean, he has to.
Right? Your job depends on it.
I mean, I would agree that they're better off and have a better chance of keeping their job if they get the guy this year. I just think that he's going to be in a different structure than he's ever been, and there's nothing about his personality or his demeanor that says he won't be able to handle it. It's well said, Philly. I hope you guys are right. If they believe in him, I hope they go get him, but I'm not all the way there with him yet. Like, I would take him at 2.
Mm-hmm.
If they go Carter. I mean, here's the problem though. It's not just us. It's everybody wants to get up there and get him.
Yeah, well,
Giants, Jets, Raiders.
That's what we're talking about. These dominoes. If the Giants would have gotten Matt Stafford, that probably takes a contender out for this. He didn't, so the Giants are still sitting there, quarterback hungry as fuck. So if hopefully a couple of these pieces move between now and then, and we have a clearer vision to see if they need to do that.
I mean, there's rumors that the Giants are down the road. How did I read that? Here's the NFL rumors today at Bleacher Report. There was something about Giants nearing a deal with Rodgers. Significantly down a road negotiating with the quarterback, according to the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah. Well,
Bengals are going to trade Trey Hendrickson.
Oh my God, dude! Did we talk about this? Did we have this discussion?
What's that?
They were so worried about losing T. Higgins. Like, was it their offense? Was their offense the problem last year?
No.
Or was it the defense?
It's the defense.
And they're going to let the NFL sack leader go to keep their secondary wide receiver. Like, from a team building perspective, I don't get this, man.
This is a great question. So if they do sign Rodgers, does that decrease the likelihood that they come up and get Ward? I don't think it does. The only guys that do that for me are Darnold, and it would have been Stafford. Are there any other guys in free agency that make them less likely to still want to get their young quarterback if they believe in him? I don't think so. Darnold, yes. Darnold will take somebody off the board if they sign him in free agency.
Yeah.
So you hope that he goes to a Giants, a Raiders, whatever. I don't know who.
He's not going back to the Jets.
Colts.
That doesn't help.
I mean, the Jets. If he goes back to the Jets, that's fine. I mean, that takes them out of it.
He ain't going back.
Yeah,
Darnold's not going to be a Jet again.
But like, yeah, I'm with you.
Burger, that really doesn't affect us if he goes to the Colts because it wasn't something we were planning on anyway.
I didn't even account for the Colts because they're not.
That would suck, actually.
Yeah, that would be a terrible outcome because they're not even in the realm of coming up to draft Ward.
Yeah. And we weren't even thinking that because they had still have the guy they have to develop. So it wasn't like we were like, oh, we're worried about them drafting a quarterback at all. I don't
It's
know.
brutal.
Rodgers to the Giants, I don't know what it affects draft wise with him.
I
Probably
don't
not
think
much. Probably not
it
much.
it probably makes him a little bit less aggressive.
Well, they're going to want to load up to give him weapons because he's only. I mean, look, man, what's Rodgers? 2 years left. Is that max? You know what I mean? So if you do go get him, you gotta. It's all in
Actually,
right now.
I probably actually I changed my mind. It probably does deter them from going from 3 to 1. Now that you said it that way, because at first I was like, no, they still want their quarterback of the future, but if you're going Rodgers, you're
It's right
going
now.
for it.
It's right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, and so it probably takes them out of that. But like Cousins, Daniel Jones, those guys I don't think deter anybody from going after their quarterback
No,
of the
look at
future.
us. We're trying to get Cousins and whatever.
Exactly.
Like no, for sure they don't.
So, I mean, is there a world, do you think, where Tennessee loves Carter enough to take him over Ward? I mean, it's a quarterback league. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, but they got a brand new GM, so he has a little bit of a leash. You might not want to burn that thing right away.
Yeah, that's the
You,
one thing is there's a couple teams that have new coaching
yeah,
hires and new
they got a
leashes.
second-year coach, but a first-year GM.
Yeah.
You might not want to shoot that bullet yet because you're going to get to pick your quarterback. So you get, but you usually, as a GM, you'll usually only get one crack at that. And if he doesn't think the team's ready, if you don't think you're a quarterback away, burning that bullet seems risky. Seems riskier. But then you're playing a game of chicken with us because if you trade that pick for someone to come up and get Cam, what's going to stop us from just taking Carter? Then you walk away with Hunter as your like tertiary prize. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah. If they're so in love with Ward, why are they dangling the pick? Because I think that they are in a position, as you described, that they can kick the can 1 year and they can play out the process. Like do they expect to be really good this year? No.
Nope.
So they're going to be back up there next year with a chance to draft a quarterback in what's going to be a much better quarterback class. So, but the question is, there are so many quarterback hungry teams in a draft that has one quarterback that's viewed as the best. Do they trade down, gain assets, or do they view Carter as that generational talent they talked about before?
Well, they just granted Harold Landry to seek a trade.
Right.
Their best pass rusher, so that's not awesome for them.
I want to go through that list in a second.
Well, I do think that Tennessee, Adam Schefter coming out and saying that the one thing that he's the most confident in this draft is that Cleveland is going to go with a quarterback. That had to be music to Tennessee's ears.
I don't think that's true. I've heard a couple people say
No,
that,
I'm
but
not
I
saying
don't.
it's true. But him saying that and putting that narrative out there draws everyone to think, well, we got to jump Cleveland to get our guy. They're not willing to just let it play where it lies and set it 3 and just hope that it's there. That him saying that is a narrative pusher. And there's reason behind everything that he says. He didn't say he had a source that said it. He didn't, you know how he is. But him just saying that, and him being Adam Schefter, has that narrative now blanketed across the league. People are going to try hopscotch just to get there.
World's fastest. I love you, man, but I totally disagree with this. Okay, the sad thing about all this is that the Browns should make this all muddy and confused, but their history shows us that it may not be an act. I disagree completely. I think that this regime has been very good at
keeping their cards close to
their vest, and like I saw a lot of it in the chat, like, well, Tennessee's GM has said this, and this team has said they're not going to tell us the truth.
Yeah. People are still running with what they said earlier about we wouldn't pass up a generational talent.
If a team is the only time a team is putting information out that is real into the world at this time of year, it's with a clear cut reason and agenda, right? They want to. It's either misinformation, like they want to push somebody off of somebody that they hope falls to them, or they hope that somebody comes up and gets somebody that, you know what I mean, that clears their path. Like that, there's no other reason for a team to give any information at this point. Would you
The art of
agree?
war, baby. Yeah, the art of war. Are you shitting me? Like you can't let them know your next move. Now you can look at our roster and see that there needs to be a move at a certain position, and you can draw your own conclusions. But for them to lay to tell you verbally serves no one.
I agree with you. Best chance to win in the malpractice at offensive line last year, but I don't think that has anything to do with draft. I think we're talking about. I thought we were talking about like pre-draft information. I don't know what that has to do with them and their draft this year.
All leaks are coordinated. It didn't used to be like that.
I guess world's fastest. Yeah, they've missed on some picks, but I don't think, once again, no team has any reason to give out information unless there's a reason behind it. Yeah, everything is coordinated at this point. So I don't think, and I do think that the Browns are fine at doing that pre-draft. I don't think there's anything that says us that they're not good at that or whatever, or they're bad at showing their hand, because that's one thing that they haven't done. Sure, they've made errors. Agreed, world's fastest, but yeah.
For me, the biggest tell the roster. That's the biggest tell.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like
I mean, but you have to, like, the thing that's the unknown factor here that nobody can tell you is how they evaluate a player.
Yeah, that's exactly what my point was with. I don't know they love the guy. I don't know they love them.
There's consensus thoughts, and there's this thought, and there's that thought on a player, but you can find an expert to tell you one thing and another expert to tell you another thing about a player. I'm sure you can find an NFL team that's board is much different than the Browns board.
And they'll both have evidence to support their claims.
Yes, 100%. I think that it's probably, in my estimation, as I wrote in that article, they have a clear path to either Ward or Carter. Whatever Tennessee doesn't do, even if they trade out, they're going to get one. They're going to get Carter then, and they probably pull the trigger on him. Unless they trade back and think they can play chicken for Sanders, that's a dangerous game.
Or play for next year and think they're just going to win enough and get 2 first-round picks next year and make a maneuver for one of 6 guys, where that's easier to do when it's only one of one or one of 2.
But if you're at 2 and you love Ward, and what costs how much to get up? A third? A second?
A third, yeah, a third, a future third. You might have to give 2/3 up.
Yeah,
the trade value to move up one spot.
I mean,
if there were a ton of more quarterbacks, that would be the case. You'd have to give up a lot to go get a guy, but there's not. Like there's scarcity, but there's not. It's also like you're only falling back one spot, man. If Tennessee's not in it for a quarterback, why not? But then it becomes if you're not the only team bidding, that's where the price goes up. So if you want to lock it in early, if you're going to do that, you don't want to wait.
Yeah. We just don't know.
Yeah. Well, that is the evals, man. That's
the evaluation.
It's the evals for all these players.
Yeah, I agree. 2 threes probably does it fumble. That's what you said too. I think that's probably right.
Yeah.
Is that worth it? If you love him, yes.
Yeah.
Because you're so close. You're at 2. You know what I mean? It's not. Um, I do too, Kramer. I hate betting on a class for next year because you
Yep.
never know what's going to happen.
But it's
Um,
also, but I'm also the same. Like, even if you take this guy, if you trade up to get him number 1 overall, do you just hand the ball to him and expect him to bail you out all season? So because you need to win this year.
no, no,
Exactly. So,
no. He's not starting right. He's not
so I'm
starting the
not doing
season.
this. I'm not making this move just because, like, for him to be the Messiah this year, and we have to win. So we have this guy. He's not my path to winning this year. He's my path to winning 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years from now. That's the reason I make this move. It's because I believe that could be his ceiling. I don't think he gets that ceiling week 1.
No, but you hope in today's NFL, you hope he's there year 2 or
Yeah,
can
yeah.
play competent football year 2.
And the reality is, if you struggle, you're playing him. So even if you go get a Kirk or you get Danny Dimes or whoever you get 6 games into the season and you're 2 and 4, and it's not going good on offense. Your best play, the best laid plans will get thrown in the trash can. You draft
They
that guy
will.
number 1 overall because the pressure will be there to play him. If you're not playing well, if you're playing well, people will be cool with him chilling. But we watched this happen to Drake May. We've watched this happen to so many players. We watched it happen to Bake. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, Steven, then he wins. If he clearly wins the competition, you play the kid.
Yeah.
I
If he,
think the idea is
yeah,
not to even have it be a competition.
yeah. I don't even think it would be really.
You want to develop.
You would come in with him getting developmental reps behind, a Cousins or whatever, right? And you know, as big as the quarterback is here, and it is so huge. I mean, you can't. They have to get better other places on offense. Like
Yeah,
their run game has to be so much
yeah,
better.
it's up front, and
And
the scheme will go a long way. But you can't do. We watch the Eagles, man. Don't quit throwing assets at it. Never
you
be
gotta
complacent.
keep
Keep
going.
throwing assets at it. The line of scrimmage on both sides, man. Never stop developing those.
I don't want Russell Wilson.
I can confirm that Brad does not want Russell Wilson.
He's a huge. He's a gigantic douche.
I would
Please
go
don't bring him here.
douche nozzle. Sounds like it apropos.
Yeah. Um. Yep. Kramer just wants a guy who can put it in the turkey hole. I'm with you there.
Well, speaking of that, so with everything that's happening out west in Seattle, would you be into a Geno Smith if it became available?
I don't think they're trading him, but I do think I mean I would certainly kick the tires.
Would you? Who would you rather have over him that's available than free agency?
Not many. A healthy Kirk.
Would you take Would you take
Kirk of 2
Darnold?
years ago,
Yeah.
which you're hoping you're getting. Um I don't nobody else. Who
You.
else?
I don't. Would you take him over Darnold?
I don't really count Darnold in that same so here's like my retread vets, right? And then there's Darnold who's going to command $40 million. So I kind of look at him in a different realm.
Different
So
bucket. Yeah, I feel that.
yeah. Gino is like in between.
If you told me Geno Smith was the starter for the next 2 years while we developed a guy, I'd feel pretty damn good about that.
Yeah, I would feel good about it. Once again, I don't think they're moving off of him.
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to cut Lockett and try to trade DK, though. I don't know what's going on out there exactly.
DK asking for a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Says he wants to
He wants
play
paid
for.
again.
He wants to play for a competitor.
They've won 9 or 10 games every year he's played.
I know. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Fucking unrealistic expectations.
Patriots want Ronnie Stanley. Let's go through these rumors real quick. Henderson, it's crazy. The Bengals are crazy. Cowboys leaning against Genty or Amarion Hampton at 12, says McShay. Broncos want Amari Cooper. Jags traded for Christian Kirk. This is the Commanders eyeing Hendrickson. Diggs future up in the air. I would not touch Diggs with a 10-foot pole.
Feels
Crosby
like
gets
more
that
trouble
mess.
than he's worth.
Yeah, and he's declining. His skills are declining. Max Crosby got the first massive deal of the edge class of a bunch of guys that is going to get the class, and it feels really ridiculous that the Cowboys are going to do what they always do and be the last one to pay their edge rusher and pay him the most.
Yep,
it's absurd.
We're watching the Bengals do this in real time at wide receiver.
I know.
Just get the deal. If you'd have signed T. Higgins 2 years ago, it would be way cheaper than what you're doing now with him, and you'd have him for longer.
Yep.
Doing the same thing with Chase. All those dudes are getting signed. He's just going to be the last guy at the table making the most.
Seahawks are mad about the DK request.
Yeah, they're asking a first and a third, and they're not going to get that. Let me put that. They're not getting a first and a third for DK Metcalf. So we'll see what that price tag looks like in 2 weeks.
And a third or I think I heard a second somewhere. That's all of it's way too high.
That's not happening. No one's doing it.
You got to turn around and pay him the extension.
Pay the money. Yeah. And let's also tell like it is. He's a one-trick pony. It's an amazing trick. That he ain't out there just routing cats up, running the full tree. But what he does, he's the best at. And immediately he changes the defense's approach to your offense because they have to shade. I mean, he's a Clydesdale.
Yeah.
Dude runs a 4.3 and he's 6'4" and 235 pounds. Like, it's a problem. But, if you don't have a team that can throw the T-ball, he ain't doing you too much. He's also not as strong at the catch point as he looks. He looks like he would just rip the ball down from anyone, and he actually has problems with that.
Yeah, he's not like Calvin like that.
Yes.
And he looks like he should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would take what he's selling. We need a guy who does exactly what he does. You can't give up a first and a third for that.
No.
And then pay him 32 or whatever he wants.
No. I am interested in. All right, so on the trade market, Browns offense changing. I think adding another good tight end is a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Or drafting one.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. But like you're looking at Michael Mayer and Kyle Pitts potentially on the trade block right now, which I think the Browns should be very kicking the tires on what that would cost. And then you want to read through your cut list?
Yeah, this is the players that have been informed of their release this week per Adam Schefter. Devontae Adams, Joey Bosa, Evan Ingram, Tyler Lockett, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Javon Hargrave, Gardner Minshew, Jamal Williams, Devin Duvernay, Draymond Jones, Roy Robertson Harris, Rayshawn Jenkins, George Fant, and Raekwon Davis.
So Evan Ingram jumps off the page.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He would fit a skill set that you need as a move type F tight end.
Yeah, a much better version of what they've had the last few years. Yeah. Agreed, OG. Yeah, I mean, he's very interesting. So, um, ways to get better on offense. This is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
As you transition back to more Stefanski scheme stuff, adding a second good pass catching tight end makes you
You'd be buying
difficult.
him on the dip.
Yeah.
He had a down year, high ankle sprain early in the year, never really got to full form. The season before that, he caught 117 balls. He's a
Yeah.
volume guy,
Mhm.
not a big play guy, but if he moves the chains a ton. So I would,
Yep.
and given that
Uh,
you're not going to have to ask him to do all the dirty work,
no.
you perfect fit for what you want to do in 12 personnel to pair with David.
Yeah.
David might
I
be mad.
agree.
There'd be a lot of balls not going his way.
Yeah. I agree. But you got to add another weapon there somehow.
But that's what we keep talking about. We need a guy on the outside too, because we're getting pretty congested between Judy and Njoku. You got the middle of the field covered.
Yep.
And if you want to run more 12 personnel, you need another tight end, and you need a blocking tight end and a tight end that can go get it. Evan Ingram could go get it. He can go out there and make linebackers look slow. That's not a problem for him, but you still need to address a weapon on the outside. And that's not happening in free agency.
Michael Mayer is very interesting as well.
Yeah, we talked about that on Tuesday night, and I was like, I'd give a fourth for him.
Yeah.
I'd come up with a fourth for Michael Mayer. Jacob thinks he'd be a little later, which I could see it, but he's still on a rookie deal, so you're kind of getting the cheap aspect while you're getting him. You don't have to really nurture him. He's already had 2 years in. He had a down year last year, but when you get in an offense sharing with Brock Bowers, there's not much meat on the bone for you. And Bowers went and did things we've never seen a rookie tight end do.
For sure. For sure. Wild. What were your thoughts on anybody else on that list of interest to you?
Javon Hargrave, Draymond Jones, if you want to go get another veteran defensive tackle. But the problem is, even with the tight ends and the defensive tackles, this is a phenomenal draft for those two positions. So it drives those guys' value down. If I can just go get a cheap version.
Yeah, I'm with you. You're watching All Eyes on Cleveland. So circling back for a moment here to this post combine conversation. We didn't talk about a little bit about like the depth. I mentioned it. The depth at edge. Does it devalue Carter at all? Like,
No,
does it make teams feel like I can get a similar guy? There's so many of them.
Yeah, but me and Jacob and Randy run a text chain, Randy Gursey, and we were talking about it, and Randy was talking about the defensive end class, and like I honestly feel this way. It's crazy deep, but there's a lot. You're going to get some starters, not that many Pro Bowlers. I think that he's the high end. He is. You're going to you can get a Princely Umanmielen. You can get a Femi Oladejo from UCLA's been my draft crush as of late. Kind of did exactly what Abdul did, was an off-ball backer at UCLA, transformed to an edge rusher, and you see it. You see where the spark could be, but you're not getting Abdul Carter. I think that he's going to be different.
Do you think he can be as good as
Micah? That's the question, right? I think that's pie in the sky. I think that's like the obviously that's if it turned out as best as it could possibly turn out. Yeah, so probably not. I like that, Jaw. Who said it first? I'm gonna give credit.
World's fastest.
World's fastest. There you go. Eyes on the turkey hole. I love that. Do I think it's in? Is it in the cards? It's in the cards. It doesn't sound likely though. But you could be like 2 steps below Mike and still be a Pro Bowl edge rusher. You know,
Forget who it was. I mentioned this the other night, but somebody was like, I watch Carter and I think he's special, but I don't think he's anywhere near what Micah Parsons is. Do you agree with that?
oh, we know we got to talk about it when Micah was coming out. Like we can't talk about what Micah is now. I mean, Jesus
Sure.
Christ.
Sure.
Micah fell in the draft
Yeah.
because he was a tweener. They didn't know what
Yeah.
he was. At least Abdul has identified what he is going into it. At least they fully transitioned him, and they weren't trying to make him do two things at once. So we'd have that same evaluation. Like I don't know what he is exactly, and that hurts you in this league. You know, even it sounds like it shouldn't. If you were to say like I can do more than one thing, it's like, well, then what are you? Like we want to put you in a box, and because you couldn't put Micah in a definitive box, is he a linebacker? Is he an edge rusher? Then it hurt his value overall. But you're also talking about, you know, Isaiah Simmons kind of doing the same thing and from a different angle, but like not being that one thing.
Yeah.
JOK was another. Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? It hurts these
Yeah.
guys' evaluation. Abdul at least showing what he is and what he did in 1 year of it leads you to believe that he's only going to get better at that one thing and grow into that role. Had they done that with Micah, I think Micah goes in the top 5.
Do you think
draft.
Yeah. Do you think you consider Carter, you consider him a generational talent?
I hate that word, just gets thrown around so goddamn much.
Okay, so yeah, but I mean we're talking about the best player in the draft hypothetically, so
Yeah. And if we're just
I'm
saying
not
like
throwing it around. I'm
is
just
he the best pass rusher to come in the league in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is he?
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
so? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Aiden Hutchinson is probably the argument, right?
Yeah. You think he's better than him?
He has
Different
more
kind of
special
pass
traits. He has more
rusher.
special traits than Aiden, you know. Had
He
Aiden tested
does?
better, he would have went number 1. He didn't test well. Short arms, all the things that people say you can't have, he has, but his game tape's ridiculous. And then you get, you know, Trayvon Walker going 1 just because he's traded up without the accolades, the stats.
Yeah. You have him better than Hutchinson?
I think he has a ceiling higher than Hutchinson, yeah.
Do you worry about his size at all?
Well, when we say the Browns have a type, he's not the type, right?
No.
He's not 6'5", 270. So you're really, really leaning on that freaky ass athleticism to be the separator there.
I mean,
he's not a prototypical.
He's shown you on film he can set the edge and everything that he will need to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't do that. It's one thing doing it there and one thing doing it here.
One thing doing it.
I'm just banking on his freaky ass athleticism, closing speed, ability to bend, ability to be the matrix basically out there. But it's a projection. He only had 1 year, but in his 1 year, he was phenomenal. He picked it up so goddamn quick.
Yeah,
he
but
moonlighted it that years prior, but to transition to being full-time edge, look the way he looked in the games that he looked at, you know, it's too much. I can't ignore it. Can't ignore the tape.
Yeah. He's not playing 3-4 outside linebacker anymore. He's going to be a 4-3 edge. What are we talking about? You have to compare him to that. Yeah.
Talking about the best pass rushers to enter the league, regardless of where they're lining up.
Yeah. JOK comes back. Delbert and Carter look out. Lamar. Agree. His speed is elite. There's no question.
Yeah.
Is he Von Miller?
I think that's probably the closest apples to apples size wise for what he does. But Vaughn did it in a 3-4. He put his hand down. He wasn't standing up the whole damn time.
Yeah.
But you need, like, that's the other thing too. We got to, if he's special, we need not put him in a box, and you have to do it the certain way because that's the way the other edges do it. You know, like let him be.
Yeah,
him.
and I think that Josh saying saying he fits the mold of a 3-4 outside linebacker. The people you compare him to will be out. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not comparing.
What?
We're talking about the best pass rushers that entered the league in the
Talking
last 3
about
years.
edge pass rushers in the NFL. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Now you would say his weight would lend itself to be more of that stand up presence in the 3-4. I get that. That ain't what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
we're watching him play straight up edge, man. Like,
Yeah.
outside tackle shoulder all day.
Yeah. I mean, he could be really special. He can. He has all the traits to do it. It's just, I don't think he makes it past 2. I just don't see it anymore. I don't see there a world where it would shock me if anybody else went 2. I mean, are we talking at this point that Ward is going to go 1 or Carter's going to go 1 and then the other's going to go
Vice
2?
versa. Yeah, that's what
I
it feels
feel
like.
like we're there.
It feels like that's the world we're living in.
Feel like that's where we are. And it doesn't feel like there's that much wiggle room because whether the Titans want Ward or somebody else does, they're going to trade up there and trade out of there. Or if the Titans love Carter enough to take him instead of Ward and ignore the trade request, then the Browns are going to take what's left.
Yeah.
Or trade out. So either way, it's
Oh my
Ward
God,
and Carter, Carter
they
and
traded
Ward.
out with Ward sitting there at 2. I wouldn't be right. You might have to check on me.
Yeah, if I tend to agree in Philly, if they stay put, Tennessee would probably take Carter. The question is, it's going to be hard for them to stay put when you've got the quarterback rates to the only quarterback valued worth a damn in this draft. You're going to get offers from the team at 2, from the team at 3, from the team at 6, from the team at 7 potentially. That's hard to pass up unless
Which depends on what the ransom is.
Yeah, and how much do you love Carter? That's what makes this intriguing at the top. Tennessee,
we're the only team that can guarantee that if you trade us, you get Carter.
Yeah,
the other teams can't do that. So it's a hell of a bargaining chip. If you trade back with 6, you ain't getting Carter. You trade back with 3, you ain't getting Carter.
Right. Yeah. So you can trade with us, and you can still get Carter. So if you really love him, why not add an asset with us and get Carter?
Shit, get him on the phone. We got the sales pitch. Let's go.
So really, if they love Carter enough, they'd be stupid not to see if Cleveland wants to come up and get him. Because if they do, you're getting Carter anyways.
Mm-hmm. And the assets.
So, but any other spot in the trade down scenario, you're risking.
Or you're not getting them.
You're not getting them.
You're not getting them if you do that.
So you got to stay put and take them then, or you're fine taking somebody else, which I don't think they are. I think it's like for them, they're at Carter. Do you think they've pretty much ruled? I can't decide it. I don't think they know, honestly. I don't think they know yet.
Well, they don't have to.
They don't have to. But do you think they've ruled out like we'll take Ward as our quarterback, or do you think they're just looking at him as a chip at this point?
So I can only basically go off what I know off of Callahan. You know, if you look at the quarterbacks he's worked with, and if you look at Joe and Cincy, does he see any through lines there? Does he see any like traits that would lead him to the Ward would be the man for his system? Because if you do, you can't pass up.
Yeah,
you just can't. The position's too fucking important. The guy touches the ball on every play. Yeah. You know, and they can say what they want. I think they're done with the Will Levis experiment. even if he's still on the team this year, he's not. He can't be their plan, right? Unless their plan is to be terrible.
Yeah.
So much unknown, man. So much unknown.
It's a tricky situation, but I mean, really, Tennessee holds the Browns' fate in their hands at this point. What they decide.
But if the worst possibility is you walk with Abdul Carter, you're okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, and we know this isn't probably likely to happen, where Miles gets traded like post June 1st or whatever. I don't think he's getting traded. They just can't do it. But like, if in some world that did happen and you ended up with Carter, that would feel like a real shit of a draft. Like, you get this superb athlete and then now you don't have Miles anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you replaced him.
Well, and also whatever you get for Miles isn't helping you this year anyway, because it's post June 1st.
I heard somebody talking about this. It's like, there's no way you can give the Browns. There's no package that will be enough for Miles.
Unless you're trading a franchise quarterback. You literally have to trade a franchise quarterback for a defensive player. Like, I mean, no one's doing that either. There's nothing.
There's no way that what you get, draft picks, ones, whatever, and they would be from a contender. So we're talking about back end of round one.
That's my whole beef, man. If you can't guarantee I'm getting a top 5 pick, what am I doing here?
Right. Exactly. So I don't see an outcome where A, it's worth it for them to take it, and B, financially they can't do it because it crushes them.
Yeah.
I just can't. I just don't see a path.
They cleared $35 million in cap today. It's still not enough. That would not be enough to take.
Not enough. It's great. I don't think they're doing it. So it would be Miles and him, which would be terrific, and that'd be a lot of fun. It would make our pass rush elite.
Oh yeah, it'd be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Opposing offensive coordinators.
Like, now, can you field an offense that can do anything?
Can just give those guys rest. Can just stretch some first downs together. Can take some time off the clock. Give those dudes rest so they can go hunt.
At this point, would you
kill people?
Last question of the night. At this point, would you keep Greg Newsome or trade him?
It depends on what the compensation is. I think he can net you a player. So if I can fill a hole, I don't think I'm losing that much. If I trade like off my defense, I think that I've seen enough, and I'm not saying I'm blown away by the slot nickel defenders, but between the both of them, and I will probably drafting another one, and you can find some guys to fill that hole, because it's not as. If you lose Greg Newsome, but you gain a solid piece for the offense, I would have to do it, man. I don't see him as a future.
I don't see him as a future either. Here's my concern, and Philly makes a good point, because I like Cam Mitchell too, and I'm excited to see what Miles Harden can be as a corner.
Yeah.
And that'd be fine letting Cam Mitchell start in the nickel. The issue is, Denzel's going to miss games.
I know.
And you don't know what Emerson is going to be this year, coming off of good, bad.
Good, great, bad. Good, great, bad.
Yeah.
He's coming off a phenomenal year.
Yeah, great to bad. Weird regression. And then, so the one thing that Newsome does provide you is that
positional flexibility.
Yeah, he can play inside and out, and he can play outside
at a level. He's a better outside player than he is an inside player.
Yeah, he can play outside at a level that allows you to get away with Ward missing games or Emerson struggling through some of the year, because you can put Cam inside and you can move him outside. You can move him around and make your defensive secondary still pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you also have the chess piece that is Grant Delpit, that if you're playing a team with like a big nickel, like a big slot receiver, I feel comfortable putting Grant down there for a game.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so you can cover
It's
your ass in the
yeah.
slot if you have to.
If you have to, I'm not worried about the slot. I'm worried about him playing outside. Just
Worried
as
about
far
Denzel Ward's health, basically.
Denzel Ward's
What
health
I'm
and
worried about.
Emerson bouncing back.
I don't know. This might just be me wanting to see the shiny side of it. I think Emerson will bounce back.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he just forgot how to play football all of a sudden.
I feel like he was dealing with something last year
It had to be
physically, and it was never on the injury
injury.
report, so they can't come out and say it because they can't be like admit that they were lying about it. But he didn't look right to me all year, man. Because what he used to be able, like in his first and second year, what made him special was what he was able to do in phase and not be out of position and not panic, stay body and cast down the field without being too handsy. Like he was just getting burnt. There was no in phase. It was him frantically running to get to the catch point.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
No. He had to have some kind of a physical ailment.
It
I
feels like it.
mean, he's like my favorite player on the team coming into the year. I mean, he was
Like we said,
elite.
it was
I mean,
good, it was great, and it was bad. Get
yeah,
me back
I
to
mean,
good. Just get me back to good, and I'll be okay.
and not even that, but think about like in the off season, he had that matchup at
Justin
in camp
Jefferson, yeah.
with Justin Jefferson where he was manning him up and everybody was talking about how great he was going to be. Like, what happened from there to the regular season is the question.
Something they
Interesting.
can't disclose because he was never on the injury report, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Philly. I think that he will bust his ass to get back this year. So, Chef says he looks like he was trying too hard to be the guy. I think he was just struggling through something physically that wasn't disclosed because, and that's only explanation for it because he went from being so good and despite him being not great all year, we never really saw his confidence like go down. Like
Yeah.
when he made a play, he was still Emerson in your face. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Huge year for him, though. Huge
Yeah,
year.
huge
You got
year.
the
It's
player escalator.
extension year. You got to earn that extension this
Yeah.
year. So it'll be interesting. And the Browns will take another corner this year. So you'll have, your pick between, and I like Cam Mitchell, and I'm anxious to see what Harden can do because I like his makeup. But maybe it's time to draft somebody that can play on the outside too. I think at least start to develop
You
them,
have
right?
to. Now you have to keep that pipeline going because we
Yep.
saw what can happen.
Because I don't want to have to, as much as I think Greg can be useful this year if you keep him around. And I also think they could use the $13 million to get two good players out of it.
Mhm.
So, you know what I mean? It's an interesting dilemma. I think that, yeah, I think that you have to start to look at filling in for him regardless. You're not extending him, basically.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. Some things could happen. Ward could go down early in the season. Emerson plays, or Emerson comes back to form, but then Newsome gets on the outside and looks good. Things could change.
Yeah, you're right,
But
Pat.
as we sit here today, I think we could use those assets.
Yeah, you got to turn people over this year more though. Like they dropped so many interceptions last year, it was a criminal.
Mhm.
To Pat Shea's point, I mean, you get your hands on it. You want to be an elite secondary like this secondary has claimed to be over the years. You got to
The
start
way they
turning
carry
people over.
themselves, you got to be that team that does that.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about Chubb. There's all this concern about Chubb. Like I saw this clip from Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show where Bull was calling another reason the Browns are the worst franchise in the world, is
Yeah.
because they're going to let Chubb see free agency. And I'm like, dude, they're just letting the free agency dictate his contract.
Yeah. Go shop. And
Go
there a
shop.
chance that someone does overpay and they're not willing to match? Of course. But that's the market.
Yeah,
If someone gives him 4 or 5, 6 million, that then he might be gone. But if another team offers him 2, guess who else will offer him 2? If some other team offers him 3, no, another team's gonna offer him 3, it's Cleveland. People want to panic though. And
yeah.
Nick Chubb is my favorite Browns player of my lifetime. My favorite player. You also have to understand he's 30 years old, 2 major injuries. You can't just throw 8 million at him just as a charity case.
No.
You know what I
And
mean?
nobody else is going to throw 8 million
That's what
at
I'm saying.
him.
But people would act like that's what they should be doing. Like they'll pay him what he's worth. He's finding out what he's worth to the rest of the league right now.
Why did MKC say they were done with him, though? I don't think she
used the
did
word
say that.
probably. I'll tell you that. She said the word probably.
I don't know what she's talking about. The exact phrase from Barry was, "We're gonna let him see free agency." Everything that my understanding is that they will have some sort of a standing, like if it's within reason, they want to match it and bring him back.
Yeah,
He's worth more to you than she's worth more to the Browns than he's worth more to the Browns, not she. She's definitely not. He is worth more to the Browns than any other team that he'll play on. The second he returns to the locker room, he validates you in ways that he won't other teams.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
No, I mean in theory, but if there's a team that does throw 5 million at him, he's probably going to him.
Didn't Jack indicate they need this step in order to use the veteran?
Yes, they have to let him go out there and see what's what. Now, are you risking losing him? Yes, you're risking exposing him, and someone's going to throw an offer that you're not going to match. That's part of the risk. It's calculated.
I'll say she may have reported it like she had a story. That's fine.
She used the word probably. She didn't say anything definitive.
Yeah, I think she's incorrect, and I think he's. I'll admit if I'm wrong, but I think he's more likely to end back unless somebody overpays the hell out of him.
Is it?
I expect him to be back here.
But I also expect them to draft running back, probably 2. I don't like right now. They have 12 picks in the draft. Will they draft 12 players? I highly doubt it. They're going to move around. But if they have double-digit picks, I expect 2 of those to be running back in this draft. That's the one thing coming out of the combine that is for real. We talked about how good this class was. Boy, they performed like it. As a group, they averaged 4.48 in the 40.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Dumb talent in that room.
So many players.
Take some stabs. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, either draft 2 or draft 1 and get you bring a UDFA in.
Yeah,
they're not all going to get drafted.
That's what I'm saying. Huh? There's like 30 running backs with draftable grades. Will all 30 get drafted? Probably not.
Probably not. And they do have the last pick in the draft, I think, completely, right? Isn't 257 the last pick in the draft?
It sure is.
Scoop up your favorite UDFA running back right there. Bring him in and if Chubb comes back, which I believe he will, and then you make Ford
compete for the spot.
Ford have to earn a spot.
Damn straight.
I think I like Jerome Ford, but you got to beat out these 2 really talented rookies we brought in.
Earn your
And
keep, sir.
there should be plenty of competition in camp this year. They're not going to shut up, Kramer. The draft always makes me think of Brad's reaction to drafting DTR. Made me die of laughter. Hope you guys do that live feed again, especially with the second pick. Yes, I did react poorly to the drafting of DTR, but I'll ask you this a couple years later. Was I wrong? Was I wrong?
We need to get the reaction live on here so we can watch it.
I threw a fit for about 10 minutes. But was I wrong? I mean, was it a good pick?
Doesn't feel like it right now, does it?
Doesn't feel like a good pick to me either. And the reason I wanted them the reason I was so mad about it at the time actually wasn't because of DTR. It was because of they were taking a quarterback there.
At all in that range, yeah.
And I wanted them to take
Other needs.
any other need. But I will say that my behavior was not great. I don't think Barry was very happy with me after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I threw a fit. Yeah. I wanted a safety. I believe that's right.
Yeah. There was a room full of people where I was at when we drafted Deshaun Kaiser, and I flipped the chair, stormed out of the room, went outside and screamed. Came back in, everyone was scared to talk to me. So I feel you, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very passionate at the time. I was angry. Luckily, he turned out to be terrible anyways, so
he bailed you out by being horrible. Thank you, world's fastest.
We do. I appreciate you guys. You guys are seriously the greatest chat in all the lands. The All Eyes on Cleveland chat is legendary. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate you guys showing up every Thursday to conversate with us, and you guys make the show, honestly. So I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, and I know Casey does too.
Damn straight.
You guys are the best. So we're gonna get out of here as we push up against 2 hours. Good show tonight, Case. Much to discuss. Listen, next week, this time, we will be in the thick of it. Free agency will be underway. I plan on, Monday night, we're going to have, Monday night, we'll have 6 o'clock, 3D, Browns 3D with Jeff, right? 7 o'clock. What is that?
Quincy.
I'm losing.
Quincy on
Carrier Live. 8 o'clock, dueling mock draft, right? Or
yep.
Yeah, dueling mock draft. And then 8 o'clock, we will have a free agency special, kickoff special. So we'll go after dark on Monday night.
Back to back to back to back.
Back to back. And then and then, as news breaks throughout the week, if there's big news, we'll throw another show on the end of the night. And get as many people in here to talk about it as we can. So it should be a jam-packed week here. So make sure you subscribe, hit like, tell a friend, and get over to theobr.com, subscribe, because already, dude, 2-3 insider updates today for those of you that are VIP members. So, now is the time of year you want to be locked into that information. It's really good intel, and our insiders are working hard to provide it. So get over to the OBR and subscribe. Any parting words, Case Dog?
No, man. It's just moving along quick. These weeks are stacking on top of each other. We got free agency. We're right up against it. As soon as we get on the other side of that, it'll be draft time. And next thing you know, rookie mini camps. Like it doesn't stop.
It happened fast, brother. It happened fast. Can't believe free agency is here already. I was looking for some SGs. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching All Eyes on Cleveland. We will be locked in next week. Keep it locked at the OBR. Hit like on your way out. Appreciate you all. Best chat in all the land for the one and only Casey Kinnamon. My name is Brad Ward. This has been another edition of All Eyes on Cleveland. We are out.